Casa Andrioli. Today's recipe is butternut gnocchi, and I have a real Italian, Perry Codiani, as my special guest, and he's going to show us how to do butternut gnocchi.
Thank you,
So,
April.
yeah,
Thank you for
how
having
did
me.
you learn how to make butternut gnocchi?
Quite honestly, I just figured it out on my own.
Except you had all the inspiration of going to Italy, especially Meta di Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast.
Yes.
Right?
This is true.
And
This
Scott
is true.
and I took the same trip for our honeymoon. Hello, Uncle Nello and Aunt Rita.
And hello also.
So as you can see, we started with some roasted butternut squash. And if you watch my YouTube video on butternut squash soup, you'll find the prep on how to cut it, de-seed it, roast it, and then let it rest for 35 minutes. Now, Perry, we have the butternut squash all ready for you.
Which looks beautiful.
Yeah.
This is really a beautiful product. The way that it's presented, the way that you've done it, and it tastes fantastic, folks. If you haven't tried this portion of April's recipe, you really need to do so because it's fantastic. But we're going to take that ingredient now.
Yep, you're going to incorporate all the wet ingredients first.
I'm going to take all the wet ingredients, and April and I are going to do two versions. Well, not two versions. It's the exact same thing, but I'm going to take half of it right now, and April take the other half and do that.
Thank you, sir.
So there's that. So now, here in the middle of your bowl, and we're going to make a well with the squash. See? Very easy, right? And we're going to take an egg. And you always want to break your egg into a separate bowl because you never know how your egg is going to come out. And you want to make sure the egg is fresh and ready to go. And you just beat it up.
So you're beating your egg. You made a well.
Made a well.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the egg in the center of the well. And that's really it. In terms of your wet ingredients, this is all you're going to need in terms of your wet ingredients. And April's going to go through now what the dry ingredients would be.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the dry ingredients of the butternut gnocchi. We have approximately, it depends on how wet your ingredients are, right?
Correct.
We have 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. We have a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of white flour, depending on, again, how wet the ingredients are. And in this lovely bowl over here, we have a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice,
Right.
a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cinnamon,
Yes.
a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of pepper. Did I forget anything?
No, you did not.
Okay,
you
good.
did fine.
And we have that all in this little bowl here.
Yes. So what I'm going to do now in our little well is, and I want to make sure that this is incorporated very well. So I'm just going to start to sprinkle this in a little bit at this point. Okay?
Just half?
Just about half of it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And now, very, keeping an eye on the flour. I'm going to start just a little bit at a time with the flour, right in the center of the well, if you could see that. And then I'm going to go from the inside out and begin to bring this together. And what's important about the way that you do this is that you don't really want to overwork this
The flour,
dough,
yeah, it'll
right?
get tough, right?
It'll get too
I
tough,
need to grab it.
right? So now at this point where you see that this much is incorporated, take a little bit more of your flour.
And this is the whole wheat flour first.
Yes, this is the whole wheat flour first. And the reason why I like to use the whole wheat flour in this recipe is because whole wheat flour gives a really nuttiness to the gnocchi, and it pairs very well with the butternut squash. Now, the thing about the whole wheat flour that you have to realize, it's a little denser than your regular all-purpose flour. And April actually sifted this whole wheat flour before we used it to just aerate it a little bit to get a little more air into it. So that when we're making the dough, it'll blend nicely. And again, this is all by eye and all by feel. You just kind of have to watch it and see when, and I'm going to put the rest of my spices in now.
Ah, I almost forgot about that.
You can see how it's starting to come together.
So you save the all-purpose flour for last.
Save the all-purpose flour for last.
Okay, depending on how wet it is.
Yeah, depending, again, how wet it is. Now this is still wet. You can tell that it's wet. And we're going to continue. I'm going to put, so this is now a full cup of whole wheat flour that we've used. And we're going to, again, evaluate this as we're working it. April works a little faster than I do.
I'm trying to be gentle. I'm trying to be gentle. So as soon as it's like a little round ball.
Yeah, yours is getting there. It's still a little too wet.
So actually, should I add the white flour now?
Yes, we're going to go.
So now a half a cup to a quarter cup?
Half a,
All right.
and again, we're just going to go by feel now. So, do you want me to?
Oh, sure.
I'm going to put just a little bit.
And then put the rest in my bowl so I know how much I'm using.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
And then.
And once it gets to a nice round ball,
Then you'll know that you've got your product.
So mine looks like it's ready to come out of the bowl. How does yours look?
Yes, mine is still a little wet and tacky, but that's okay because
All right.
what we're going to do now is we're going to take some flour and we're going to put some bench flour out. Okay, and spread this around.
Fantastic.
There's some for you and some for me.
Alrighty.
And we're gonna put our dough out on the bench flour, and you can see mine is still very wet and sticky, but that is okay because we're gonna slowly continue to incorporate and knead very gently some additional flour into this dough until we get the consistency that we're looking for. And really what we're looking for is just enough flour in the dough to absorb the moisture.
Oh, I love this little tool right here. This is great for keeping things off your hands.
Yes, this is perfect. And again, this is getting close.
May I have a little more flour, please?
Yes,
just
you
a
may.
little bit more.
Where would you like it?
Right here, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
All right, mine's getting really close here. But it's still a little bit sticky on the inside. So I rest the dough for 35 minutes before I go ahead and cut the gnocchi.
That is important because the glutens in the flour do need to rest. Okay, you see now?
Yeah,
this
that's
consistency,
nice.
It's not sticking to my hands as much.
Very
And I'm just folding it into itself.
So after this becomes a nice little ball here, we're going to wrap it and let it rest for 35 minutes?
Yes.
All right, I just happen to have some.
Look at how efficient April is.
All right.
April is so efficient. There we go. Just gonna wrap this up.
So we're gonna let this rest
Yep.
for 35 minutes. Okay, so after resting for 35 minutes, it is time to unwrap our dough. Lovely. Mine is still just a tad sticky.
And that's okay.
I might need a little more flour, Perry.
We're gonna put some bench flour down because we're gonna
Roll it
again
out.
we still have to work it a little bit. So it's important, get your bench flour down. Actually flour your hands. Here, April, flour your hands a little bit. Okay, here we go. Roll the dough out. Or get the dough out.
Oh, it feels nice and cool.
Right?
Yeah, this is nice. Oh, it's still very soft and supple.
Yeah, this is very nice. This is just the way it should be. Now what I'm going to do, April, is I'm going to cut it in quarters.
Halves and quarters, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I have my little pizza thing.
Oh. And again, we're gonna put a little flour out on this parchment paper, because then once we
Just
make
gonna work
these,
with one.
yeah, I'm gonna work
Okay.
with one at a time, and I'm gonna
Roll it out.
try to get a little log shape to it, and begin to roll it until we get it to the size and consistency that we want.
I went a little fancy on us, Perry. I bought these little gnocchi boards. I'm gonna try it. I've never used it to get the fancy lines.
Oh, look at that.
We'll see. I know you like to cut them up in little pillows.
Well, quite honestly, I only like to cut them up in little pillows because I've never used
You
one of
never
those.
have
And they haven't one of those.
Nona in Albany, New York, uses a fork, the
Uh-huh.
back of a fork. I might even try that for a little
Yep.
fun too. How's your log
Yeah,
coming
we're
out?
we're getting it. You know, the biggest task at this point is just try to make them
Nice and even?
as even as possible, as uniform as you could make them. So I'm going to cut these in about 1 inch little pillows. Or I guess they're about 1 inch. I'm not quite sure.
Well, it's
And see,
nice
look.
and soft. I love the way that it's soft.
Look at how this this looks, just like a little pillow. And I'm going to put them on
Parchment paper?
parchment paper, and they're very delicate. So you know, you have to continue to be gentle with them.
So we're gonna do that little line business right there, just
Look
like
at
the
that,
pros.
April.
Look at
That's
that.
perfect.
It's pretty, right?
That's perfect. Very
All right.
nicely done.
I think it's probably better if I make them a little bit rounder and then roll it. I don't want to be too hard on it, but I guess there's. Oh wow, I love those little lines. While we're doing
Yeah.
all this prepping, I have 2 pots of boiling water.
Now,
So they're ready for when this tray is filled up, we're going to bring them on over and boil them. Now, what's the deal with the boiling? Until they float?
First of all, Miss April, did you salt your water?
I did not salt my water.
Miss April,
I gotta salt my water.
you need to salt your water. April,
Yeah.
a little song for you.
Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so now it is time to take them over and boil them. What do you say, Per?
Yes, let's cook our gnocchi. So we've got a rolling boil here, and just, you know, gently, got a nice rolling boil here. And we're gonna kind of gently place our gnocchi in. And April, you're gonna know that these are done when they begin to float. And we're gonna give this water a little stir once our gnocchi are in. April, you smell
I can
all the
smell all
butternut?
this. Yeah, I can smell all the spices.
The spices,
It smells
the butternut
delicious.
squash.
Mine are almost floating. How are yours doing?
They're getting there. You know, these were big.
They are big gnocchis.
We made big gnocchis, so they're going to take a little bit of time to
Float to the top.
float to the top.
I noticed that you have some butter over there.
Yes, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put a little butter at the bottom of the bowl. And there's a little butter in the bottom of your bowl. And
That's so they don't stick.
that's so they don't stick. And
Waiting for the sauce.
yeah, and quite honestly, April, mine are done. I can tell that they're done just by looking at them. So I'm going to put them in the bowl. It's good to have a little bit of that pasta water in there too. And these are really homemade looking gnocchi, April. Let me tell you, this is a perfect holiday pasta dish.
a side dish.
pasta dish.
Yes.
And we're going to do several different sauces.
So you're going to make a sauce, you say?
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
So this is actually the first of a couple different sauces that we're going to make. And this is very simple, very fall, very traditional fall flavors with the sage and the butter and a little lemon zest to cut through the richness of the gnocchi and the butter, and just a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
So first we're going to zest our lemon. And, you know, I find that you always need a little bit of acid in
to balance out the richness.
Yes. So again, this is very simple. That's enough, really, lemon zest.
Fresh lemon juice.
We take our lemon. Again, we're not going to need a whole lot of lemon juice, but
about a tablespoon.
Yeah, about a tablespoon. You know, maybe I'm going to do a little bit more. Just a little bit. No seeds, perfect. And then we're going to move over to the stove and make our sauce.
Great.
Okay, Miss April, here we go. This is really kind of very quick. Shouldn't take that long to do, so we're going to put a couple pads of butter in. Maybe, and this is a hot pan, so we will turn this down a little bit. And that butter is browning. I'm going to put some sprigs of sage in, flavor that. You smell?
Oh, it's delicious.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Put our gnocchi in. We're just going to make one serving. All right. I'm going to essentially toast the gnocchi in the butter. We're going to add our lemon zest. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, just a tad. And I'm going to add a little bit of our lemon juice. And there we go. That's it. It's very quick.
Little fresh sage for a little garnish there.
Alright.
Well, it sure does smell good. I'm ready to dig in. This is the brown butter sage sauce. Butternut gnocchi.
Let's try it. See how it came out.
I like how the lemon zest and lemon balance out the butter. Very good.
I agree.
So now we're on the second sauce.
Yes.
And this one is called?
Well, I call it the mother sauce only because from this sauce you can make a lot of variations of other things.
Okay. So the mother sauce.
Yes.
So what kind of ingredients do we have here?
Well, it's a cream-based sauce, so we have nutmeg, butter, a little bit of salt, some mascarpone cheese, some minced shallots, chicken stock, some light cream, and again, some lemon and some lemon zest, and one whole clove of garlic. And I'm going to zest some lemon again. And again, April, just like I said before, you always need a little acid, especially when you have a cream-based sauce or a sauce that has this amount of fat in it, quite honestly.
Would you like me to do the nutmeg?
Oh, if you don't mind. Yes, please. Thank you.
Fresh nutmeg, there's nothing like it.
And it's so, you know, it's worth getting the fresh, because store-bought ground one,
This adds
no
such a
bueno, no good.
Not to mention it smells delicious.
Yes.
About a teaspoon?
Yeah, that's plenty. That's more than enough.
Great, my job is done.
Okay. And again, there we go. That'll be enough lemon zest. And we're going to use the rest of the lemon from the other sauce. And I'll just actually squeeze this in as we're making the sauce as we go.
Okay,
All right?
let's go make the sauce.
So that's all of our ingredients.
All right, Pear, we're ready for the mother sauce.
All right.
I'm
the
ready.
sauce. So a couple tablespoons of olive oil. This pan is hot. So actually, we're gonna cool this pan down just a little bit. Take it off the fire. We're gonna get a couple
You want me to help you?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
How many?
2. Let's put
2 pats of butter first.
2 pats of butter.
All right.
All right, and again, we're going to keep this off the heat a little bit. You'll see that comes
To a nice brown, toasty color.
and we're going to put shallots in. And we're going to put 1 whole garlic. We don't really want garlic in the sauce. We just want a little essence of the garlic.
Just to flavor it up.
Yep, just to flavor it up.
Nice.
All right. So, and this, you see, this is a very simple technique, folks, right? So your pan is a little hot. You just take it off the flame and work it until it cools down, and you see that things are coming together. And now we're really going to cool it down. We're going to add our chicken stock. All right, and now we're going to turn the heat up a little bit because we do want this to come to a boil.
So you're going to reduce the chicken
And
stock
we're going to add,
while it's boiling.
while it's boiling, and we're going to stir while it's boiling. We're going to add some of our half and half, or actually it's not half and half, it's light cream.
Light cream.
Light cream.
Okay. So I don't feel too guilty.
Yeah.
Now I can put on a little more extra Parmesan.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Exactly. I don't know.
That
what we
was
used
2
here.
cups, so now you've poured in 1 cup.
1 cup, and we're going to turn this heat down a little bit. And now we're going to put our mascarpone in.
And that's about a cup.
It's about.
I think that's a cup.
think
A
it's
cup
a
of
cup.
mascarpone.
Yes.
Turn that down just a little bit.
Yep.
Here you go. I'll take it.
Oh, thank you very much. And folks, if you don't know mascarpone, it's basically
Italian cream cheese.
it's Italian cream cheese, but it is a denser.
It is very
cream.
thick, isn't it?
Yeah, very dense cream cheese.
Oh, this is just low calorie here.
Yes, yes. Now we're going to turn the heat off. All right. We are going to add our lemon zest. Oops. We are going to add
Fresh nutmeg.
fresh nutmeg. And we are going to add a squeeze of lemon juice. Make sure there's no
seeds.
seeds. We're going to take this off of the heat. And while we have it off the heat, put some Parmigiano Reggiano. And this is all to taste and to flavor. And now let's get the gnocchi going, okay? So we're going to toast our gnocchi a little bit before we add the sauce. So we're going to put a little butter in our pan. A lot of butter. A lot of butter and cream, right? But it's fall, right? It's time to put a few pounds on in the fall.
I don't know about that, but it sure does taste good. It is a treat. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
A definite treat.
Again, this is this is a perfect holiday treat. So, you know, we seem to be always putting on a few calories or eating a few more calories during the holiday season than we should. So, well, let's put these gnocchi in, and we're going to toast them up. Very simple. There we go. Perfect teamwork there.
The mother sauce.
Another sauce. I'm gonna off the heat. Some more Parmigiano.
Okay, pair butternut gnocchi with sauce number 2, the mother sauce.
Another sauce. Let's
Here.
see how it came out.
Very good.
Oh, very good.
Okay, Perry, we're at sauce number 3. What do you got for us?
We are going to make actually something that I've never made before, but I thought that this would be a combination. Again, this is why I call this a mother sauce, so that we could use it in different applications. So what we're going to do is we are going to toast some walnuts.
On medium high?
Medium high. And you know...
Just until you can smell the walnut oil?
Alright, I think this is enough. I'm going to put these right back in our little bowl, and we'll come back. After we have toasted our nuts, oh, very good, thank you. Butter, macerated
Raisins.
golden raisins in dark rum.
I like this recipe already.
Right, and
Sizzle it up.
we're going to cook that out.
You're going to reduce the
We're gonna
rum down?
Yeah, we want to cook the rum out.
Woo!
We're going to add our nuts. We'll add them all. And turn this heat up a little bit.
Toasted walnuts, macerated golden raisins in rum.
And rum.
With butter, of course.
Can you get any better than that? Okay, looks about right. And add a little of our mother sauce.
Did you want a little fresh nutmeg?
Yes, please. Good, that's nice, reducing nicely. And put some of our gnocchi in.
Alright, well I'm looking forward to trying this one. So the third sauce was the mother sauce with golden raisins soaked in rum and toasted walnuts. Okay.
Let's try it. Let's see if what I thought in my head turned out to be something that tastes good.
Wow, that's really good. Very good.
It is good.
Thank you for coming to Casa Andreoli. Perry Codiani, our guest chef.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciated being here with Scott and April Marie.
Butternut gnocchi with 3 mother sauces. Abbondanza.